Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dig into what really separates great success from great failure. And you might be surprised to find out they're not opposites at all. They're basically two sides of the very same coin.
Okay, let's just jump right into this core idea because it's a big one. We tend to celebrate success like it's this magical moment, a stroke of genius or just pure luck. But that's only because we're not seeing the whole story. The long, hard road that led to that one moment in the spotlight.
Right? We see the triumph, the victory lap, the finished product. We don't see the years of trial and error, the rejections, the dead ends, and all those moments of doubt. And because we miss all of that backstory, we just chalk it up to luck or, being in the right place at the right time.
To really get this, let's pull back the curtain a little bit and look at the hidden history behind some names you are definitely going to recognize. The story is probably not what you think it is. Now, what's so wild about this timeline is the sheer persistence over decades. We're not talking about one or two little setbacks here. This was a 30-year journey of what most of us would consider pretty crushing public defeats, all before he finally became president. Of course not, right? And the reason is simple. He never saw himself as one. For Abraham Lincoln, every one of those losses wasn't a dead end. Nope, it was just a detour on the road to where he was determined to go. And listen, this pattern isn't just a Lincoln thing. It's a constant theme. You've got Lee DeForest, who was literally called a fraud right before his invention changed communication forever. The Wright brothers were being openly mocked in the paper a week before they changed the world. And Walt Disney, he was flat out told he had no talent before creating one of the biggest entertainment empires on Earth. Okay, let's move to another story, this time with a fast food icon you'll definitely know. Just think about the starting point for a second. You're 65 years old, you've got barely any money, just an old car, and your mom's chicken recipe.
He was rejected over 1,000 times. Just let that sink in. Can you imagine that? Knocking on door after door, restaurant after restaurant, and just hearing no again and again and again. It was only after the 1,000th try that he finally got a single yes.
Wow. I mean, that really puts our own definition of trying hard into perspective, doesn't it? It makes you wonder how many incredible ideas just get abandoned if you nose away from a yes. And get this. Even one of the most brilliant inventors in all of history was written off as a total failure from the get-go. His own teacher saw zero potential. Thank goodness his mother saw something different.
So there's actually a name for this mindset, for this incredible ability to bounce back from constant setbacks and actually use them as fuel. It's called failing forward.
And this definition right here is the whole key. It completely reframes what failure even is. It's not the opposite of success anymore. It becomes a crucial part of the journey to success. It's not an endpoint. It's more like a compass, telling you how to adjust your course to get where you're trying to go.
And this chart just illustrates that difference so perfectly. One mindset, failing backward, sees a setback as a dead end, a reason to just give up. The other mindset, failing forward, sees that exact same event as a detour, a lesson, a stepping stone on the path to their goal. So let's go back to Edison for a minute, this time as an adult. He's 67, and he's literally watching his entire life's work, a factory worth millions, go up in flames. And it was barely insured. For most people, this would be the end of the story. But his immediate reaction wasn't despair. It was opportunity. He didn't see loss. He saw a clean slate. He saw a chance to rebuild without being dragged down by any of his past mistakes. I mean, what an incredible attitude to have. And look at what happened next. 3 weeks, not 3 years of mourning his loss, but 3 weeks of intense, focused work that led to one of his most famous inventions. That is the definition of failing forward in action.
So what is it? What fuels this incredible resilience? What's the driving force that makes someone knock on 1,000 doors or rebuild a factory from the ashes? What is the secret ingredient here?
Well, there's this powerful story from the ancient philosopher Socrates that explains it perfectly. A young man asks him for this secret to success, and instead of just giving him a boring answer, Socrates gives him an experience he will never, ever forget. And that's the lesson. The motivation isn't some complicated formula. It comes from a burning desire, a need so intense, so fundamental, that it feels as essential as breathing. When quitting just isn't an option, you find a way to keep going.
Okay, so how do we actually apply this stuff? How do we take this big idea and use it to reframe our own inevitable setbacks, whether they're big or small?
It really comes down to this one simple question. This is the tool. It's the little mechanism that transforms a stumbling block into a stepping stone. It forces you to find the value in the failure, to pull out a lesson that makes you better for the next try.
See, by focusing on the lesson instead of the loss, you kind of bypass that emotional gut punch of fear and doubt that can paralyze us. Instead, you activate the part of your brain that's focused on learning and problem solving, and you find that path forward, fueled by that burning desire we were just talking about.
And that leaves us with this final, powerful idea. The journey is going to be full of failures. That's a given. But they're only fatal if you let them be. If you can hold on to that vision, that belief, and treat every single failure as just another lesson, then the path to achievement is always open. So the real question is, what will you build with your next failure?